Hi, it's T with TeaQuilts, and today is June 20th, and I'm here because I received my Benartex packet in the mail, and so I have opened it and taken the paper and fabric out. This month our collection features Sun Valley by Canvas Studio. It's enhanced with metallic gold, and inside is actually 20 charm squares, and I'll show you those in just a second. This is the cover of the newsletter with the Sun Valley fabric featured, and then of course we have the editor's letter and information about the preview club over here, signing up for friends, and then you have a page that's some recommended notions for your sewing room, so it's just more like new product listings. And then again, they have Stop to Shop, and they've got Quiltique in Henderson, Nevada, and then Shabby Fabrics at shabbyfabrics.com. And then over here, we have all of the fabrics listed by number and name. And then here again, they have down on the bottom where you can get a free pattern. So it's different than the pattern that they're using here because these are much bigger. These quilts are basically in approximately 55 to 78 inches. So over here it has some information about the Sun Valley swatch pack. It says brilliantly colored sunflowers etched in metallic gold, dragonflies, elegant scrolls, and a sunset stripe make Sun Valley an extraordinary collection. Then on the back, they're doing a particular close-up of Opulence by Randa Mulford. And then over here, just more of their new fabric lines that are coming into the quilt shop. They've got Blocks of Brilliance, Summer Garden, and Folk Art Fantasy. And then on the back, they actually have another pattern that's called Sunflowers and Shadows. And I am actually going to be making this design, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. And then also in the pack is that Mr. B's Preview Pack Club is having a spring cleaning sale. Get 5 fat quarterly back issues and swatches for just $24. They're normally $6 a piece, so you're actually getting 1 fat quarterly free with this sale. So that price is for USA residents, and then this would be $40 for international with shipping included. For a limited time, order our spring cleaning pack and receive these 5 back issues including fabric swatches. Get 5 for the price of 4. Issues included are as shown while supplies last, no substitutions. Mix and match. Zoe and Christine, Ariel, Janelle, and Woodstock. So you have to fill out this form for that. And then they have the traditional standard back order issue as well. And since my last issue where I introduced Benartex, it went up a few dollars for the yearly membership. I think it's $5 that it went up. So just be also aware of that. So we'll come back to this pattern in just a second. I want to show you the actual fabrics now. So these fabrics are very beautiful, as they're calling it Sun Valley. So you can see a lot of yellow, orange. Sunflower is in this print up here at the top right here. So very pretty fabrics. Again, it has that metallic gold that was in the previous collection, but with the black and beige. This time it's with black, gold, yellows, and oranges. So another very pretty collection of fabrics here. Okay. So when I opened up this packet, it made me remember that I had received a packet of 10-inch squares from Keepsake Quilting when I joined their club one year, and I've had this fabric pack for a long time trying to determine what to do with it. So what I did was, it has 15 fabric squares in them, and I'm just going to lay them on top here so you can see them, and they have some form of gold in the ones that I have pulled out. So anything that had metallic gold in it, I actually pulled those out, and actually 10 of them have metallic gold in them. And I thought, hey, this is great because I get to use these products as well as the bender tacks. So those are the fabrics that I'm going to use. I'm actually going to cut these 10 squares that are 10 inches into 5-inch squares. So I'll have 40 additional squares in addition to the 20 that came with the pack. So now I have 60 squares that I can play with. There was a few squares that was included in this pack that I didn't use, so I'll just show you those 5. This yellow here does not have any metallic gold. It has the coloring but not any metallic, so I'm trying to use all metallic fabrics. A brown, another yellow, a yellow with dots. I actually have some of that probably in my stash, or had some in my stash. And then the last one there. So I'll just put this into my yellow and brown scrap storage. And because I'm using these fabrics, I want to bring my board back in, and I'm just going to place it so you can see some of these fabrics, because I want to show you what I'm using for an accent. For an accent in the pattern, they're actually using their fabric that's called Cornrows Black Orange, and you need a ½ yard of that. And I am actually going to be using this. I found this black in my storage, and it has some metallic gold lines on it that's overprinted. And then for my background, I am using this more creamy color or beige color background, but it does have gold specks in it, and I'm hoping that it shows up on camera. So I will be using these 2 fabrics in addition to the other 10 that I pulled out of my stash. So I am going to cut these into 5-inch squares, and then I will come back after I've done some cutting. I have done some cutting, and first I started out by cutting my accent fabric. If you're only making the 16 blocks that's in the pattern, you just need to cut an 18-inch strip because you're using a ½ yard of fabric. And then you need to cut one piece that's 4½ inches wide, and then another piece that's 5½ inches wide. And then you need 2 strips that are 18 inches long by 1 inch wide of your background fabric. And then you need 1 strip that's 5½ inches by 18 of your background. Well, you need 1 strip that's 5½ inches wide by your total width of fabric for your background. So 5½ by width of fabric. You're going to take that and subcut it into 2½ inch units. So I just have some of them here. So you're going to cut these into 2½ inches wide. I cut half of my blocks unit so far, and so your first sewing step is going to be to sew this 1 inch strip to your 4½ inch strip set as well as your 5 inch strip set. So I have already done that off camera, so we can move forward. And I just have my strip sets here. And what I want to demonstrate for you is we need to cross cut these into 1-inch strip sets. And how I do that really fast is to just use my shape cut ruler. So I'm trying to make it fit. The problem is that when I'm recording, I don't have enough room here with me standing here as well. So I'm just putting my ruler, any line on the bottom line at the edge of my fabric. And then I'm going to go through the holes. I'm going to go through 0 to get a square up line. And then I'm just going to go through 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and so forth. I'll go through every inch. But since I got the camera here, I'm just going to stop here. And then when I take that off, I am actually cutting my 4.5-inch strip and my 5 at the same time. So the next step is to take your charm squares and sew these pieces onto the side that we just subcut. So we're going to have one piece on the side going this way. We're going to press that seam open, and you'll have something that looks like that. Then afterwards, we're going to place this piece on the bottom, and when that's done, you'll have a unit that looks like this. Now, I personally am going to make all of my squares that I want to put into the quilt top at one time, because the way that this quilt is constructed, you need to know exactly where your squares are going to go before you start adding sashing, because I may or may not need a sashing on one side. Now you can't flip the row upside down because you want this L shape to be oriented in the same direction all way. So to me, that means I need to know where I'm going to put my fabrics, especially if I'm going to use duplicates. If you're only using 16 in a pack, you don't have duplicates, it's not really a big deal. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew all of my units, and then I will come back with these on my design wall. It's been about 4 hours since my last video segment, and I have all of my blocks put together, and I have them just set on the wall, and I do not have the sashing strips in between the rows. I just wanted to lay my blocks out since I'm having duplicates. I wanted to make sure that they wouldn't touch or be in the exact neighborhood of each other. So I just kind of placed them on the wall. I haven't done a final look yet, but I just wanted to show you what I have. I have 56 blocks. I have 7 blocks in each row, and I have 8 rows. So it will not be exactly square when I'm finished. It'll be more of just a tad rectangular when I'm done. So I will show you my progress as I work on the quilt, but for tonight I am actually going to bed. It's not that it's very late, it's just that I got to get up tomorrow morning to do an event, and I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to work on it on the next. We'll see you when I come back with this project. Hi, it's T, and it's Wednesday, June 20th, I think. I don't have a calendar around me. But I had an event today, so I didn't get to work on my project all day, and it's now about 7:30 p.m. So I had done some sewing for about maybe 3 hours, and I had to do some ripping. So when you're sewing these blocks together, make sure that you keep them in order, or that you number your main block units, because I got one row completely mixed up and I don't even know how I did it. I thought I took everything off in order, but just be careful if you are planning a layout if you're doing duplicates with the fabrics, because I had one fabric here and the same fabric was right above it, and I didn't want them that close per se. They can be, you know, kind of far away from each other like that, but not the block right up or on the sides of it anywhere. So I was trying not to have a repeat block in this particular 9-block area. I have been sewing my rows together. I actually have I have 8 rows here, and I have 5 of them sewed together, and so I have these 3 up here that have not been sewed, and then I also cut 2.5-inch strips that I'm putting in between my actual rows. So from here down I have 4 rows. You can't see the bottom row, but you can see up to the 3rd row. I have 4 rows actually put together here, and I need to put these 3 rows together with sashings in between and add that to the other unit. So I just wanted to come give you an update and give you some tips just in case I forget them at the end of the video. So I will see you hopefully with the completed top next time. I'm here with my completed quilt top. In the pattern they tell you to add a different width border for your top and bottom, and I just continue to add 2.5-inch strips. So I will also take a photo of the instruction sheet and add a picture at the end of this video, but I just wanted to show you that I have mine completed. I actually used 56 squares, and my quilt is 49.5 by 54. So that's my finished size. I am now ready to take it to the Longarm to do the quilting, and all they did was wavy lines across the quilt, and I think I'm going to do that. I think sometimes less is more, so I am sticking with the pattern. I just really love what they have done with the squares, so I just decided that I would do the same thing as well. The other thing is, this is not my normal color palette, but I really love the feel and look of this quilt. So I have my backing already prepared, so I am now ready to go put this on the Longarm, and I'm hoping that since I'm just doing wavy lines that I can get it done before this video go up. So hopefully I'll see you in my next segment with the finished quilting. I have my quilt top loaded, and I have it basted on the side to the point where it's in my frame. So now I just want to start quilting, and I am going to do like the pattern that had just little freestyle wavy lines. So let me bring up my bobbin. Okay, so I'm just going to freestyle some lines here and take it off of base. And then when I get down to the end, I'm just going to slide down and come back through. And I'm going to go on my seam lines just so I can help to stabilize some of the stitching as well. So here I'm doing less is more mentality here. So I'm coming back to my threads. I don't want to go over those. And now I want to just go up and try to do a line that's less than 1/4 inch away, because I don't want to stitch this in when I'm putting my binding on. So it'll be kind of close to the first. just scan some of it so that you can see it. But I really, really love this, and I love the stitching design that's in here. And I have even attached my binding by machine. So now all I have to do is match up where these end points meet and sew that by my regular sewing machine and make a label. So I will get some photos for you at the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.